If you're sitting up north right now, looking at another brutal winter, and maybe even you're thinking, it's finally time to move to Florida, well then this video is for you. I'm going to give you the honest, unfiltered truth about what it's actually like to live here in West Palm Beach, and there's going to be no sugarcoating. I promise you that. This is not going to be a sales pitch either. It's just the real picture. So stay until the end of this video because I'm going to cover the one thing that surprises most people that I talk to every single time that I talk to somebody about moving down here. I'm Maximilian Stalinski, a real estate agent here in Palm Beach County, and I help families and individuals relocate to this beautiful area every single day. I've seen it all, from people who move here and absolutely love it, just like myself. And I've seen the ones who wish they, maybe had done a little bit more homework before planting roots down here. So let's get into it. So let's talk about some pros. Number one, obviously the weather. The weather is absolutely incredible. West Palm Beach has about, close to 240 sunny days per year on average. The national average is just around 200 days. So, there's obviously a big gap right there. During January and February, you're usually looking at highs around 75. That's the most popular time of the year. Obviously, humidity, it's crisp, warm in the sun. You'll be having lunch outside with the family, hanging out with friends, playing pickleball, whatever you want to do. But all of that instead of shoveling snow, of course. Now during the summertime, it's a little different. We have heat, we have humidity. So we're talking highs around 90 degrees in July. And if you've never experienced a summer here in Florida really, then that's probably something you might want to check out before signing up, moving down here. But yeah, honestly, I would say for most folks that come from colder climates, including myself, I'm from Germany originally, the trade-off is absolutely worth it. Let's talk about number two, location. West Palm Beach sits right on the Atlantic coast here in Florida, about 70 miles north of Miami. You're close enough, to be in that melting pot of Miami if you wanted to, but you're also removed enough to, not have the constant crazy going on around you. So you do have world-class restaurants, you have events, big musicians, you have the NBA, anything you want, Formula One, but you don't have to deal with the Miami traffic or the Miami price tax. You're still, removed from that. You do have the Bride Line, which is a high-speed train system over here, which connects you not only all the way to Miami, it also stops in Fort Lauderdale. And it's an easy way to just go up and down the metro area without being stuck in traffic. So that's a massive win to have that proximity, but not having to be right in the middle of it. All right, let's talk about number three. So West Palm was recently named the #1 trending destination in the United States by TripAdvisor. And I'm not sure if you've heard of the North Museum of Arts or the Kraft Center of Performing Arts. I mean, there's Broadway shows, there's symphony, there's ballet. Clematis Street is aligned with restaurants and bars. There's a really cute outdoor sitting area too. And you're right by the marina of West Palm where the super yards are parked. So there's enough to do to pack a whole weekend, pack a whole month. I mean, plenty of things to do. All right, so let's talk about number four, no income tax. So obviously no surprise here, but being that there's absolutely no income tax here. If you're moving here from California, New York, Illinois, I mean, the savings are real. You might have, depending on where you're coming from, maybe a little bit higher cost of living factors here, but I think the net bottom line still works, strongly in favor of Florida. Number five. So this is the one thing that constantly surprises people. So West Palm Beach it's not really a one size fits all, right? You can find condos starting in the 200s. You can also find $10 million waterfront homes. So there's a huge range really of homes, of types of properties you can find here. And so there's genuinely something for every buyer over here. And I'll actually do a full video on that breakdown separately, so stay tuned for that. Talk about some of the cons. So cost of living here, let's be real, it is getting expensive. And West Palm Beach runs about 14% higher than the national average in terms of cost of living right now. I believe it's probably getting more and more expensive as we progress. So it's actually more expensive than Tampa or Fort Lauderdale at this point. So if you're on a tight budget, you need to plan carefully where you're moving, where you're buying your home. And the no income tax benefit, that certainly helps. However, you should not be expecting Fort Myers prices at the same time. That's a completely different ballgame at this point. Con number two. So June through November every year, you're going to be entering the hurricane season, right? And it's not that boom, all of a sudden winds go crazy. No, it slowly builds up, right? So the peak of the season is usually around September-ish, going into October. Now, modern homes here in Florida, anything built after 2005 for these, they're built to handle that. So you have hurricane impact, doors, windows, all that stuff. There's concrete block construction for these homes, pre-described by the building code. But you do need to factor in insurance costs. So homeowners insurance in Florida has gotten really expensive over recent years. And that's probably the number one thing that you should be considering in your budget. It's not like right now I see a lot of deals where it's not so much the mortgage rate that is kind of determining the, if this is a go or not a go on the deal. It's more, what does it actually cost to insure this particular property? So the properties that have more hurricane protection, obviously they have a lower insurance premium. And so that's just something that you have to really figure into your budget. We always recommend during an inspection period actually to already have, whoever your insurance broker of choice is, to have them on speed dial. We have our clients to get quotes as we are in the inspection period to really compare apples to apples. So here's the thing that actually nobody tells you about until you actually move here. There's a thing called snowbird season. Hear me out. So from roughly November through April, the population here in Florida just swells, and you'll notice that traffic on I-95 is going to go nuts. Okeechobee is going to be clogged up. All your favorite restaurants are going to be packed. So, as a local, you learn to navigate it. But as a new resident, you kind of want to prepare for it because it is the first time you experience it. It's like, it's like somebody flipped the switch. All of a sudden, all these folks, they come out of the woodwork. And it's just, just be prepared. So here's a little surprise that I promised. This is number 4. So West Palm itself doesn't technically have a public beach. I know it sounds crazy, West Palm Beach, right? But the beaches are actually Palm Beach Island. It's going to be Lake Worth Beach, and then you have, for instance, Peanut Island, which is technically inside the Intracoastal. But there's no beach really dedicated to West Palm Beach. You have to drive across a bridge or just get a little bit out of the way to be able to appreciate or to enjoy that. It's just a 5-minute trip, and it's completely accessible. So it's not like you'll be traveling forever. But it's just a little fun fact about West Palm Beach that I thought I would share. All right, so is West Palm Beach worth moving to in 2026? Well, for the right person, absolutely yes. It's warm weather, you have incredible culture, there's no income tax, you have a great housing market that, is kind of destined to go further up. There's a lot of new construction going on around here, so a lot of people are betting on West Palm Beach, to really develop into a magnet over here. And right now, all the factors are, speaking for that. So going in, there's different price points to look at, a lot of options. The key is going in with eyes open on the costs and also the seasonality. So if you're seriously considering making the move, I actually put together a free West Palm Beach relocation guide. And it's got all the breakdowns about, the best neighborhoods, about schools, real insurance costs and estimates, and a home search checklist. So if you want to talk through maybe your specific situation even, you can book a free strategy call with us if you want to. We've helped hundreds of families to move into this area. And who knows, maybe there's something we can share with you that you didn't know before. If you would like to connect, just either drop a comment or reach out to us on the information you can see here below. Like I said, we like to help folks move here every day of the week. And if we could do that for you as well and your family, we would be honored.